The biggest mistake any nigga ever make is getting too comfortable, kicking their feet up, taking that motherfucking victory lap. Cause you ain't never safe. Somebody always out there, watching. And by the time you see him, it's already too late. I think the things you go through make you who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And in my journey, like there's certain things that I'm not really, I don't even let it into my system like that. I think depression is a luxury.
Wow.
Because where I'm from, you can't afford to be depressed. You got to pay the bill, right?
Right.
So you got to go to work. You got to get up. You got to go do what you got to do. You got people right now that's at work that don't feel like being there.
Mm-hmm.
But they got responsibilities, so they
Yes,
go.
sir.
They feel uncomfortable while they're working, while they're doing what they got to do. Like, when these guys get in a slump and they just decide that they're not going to do anything, I'm like, where they do that at?
Right.
Even when you're on the street, you got a pack. You just decide not to come outside?
Yeah.
They're going to beat you up. You're going to beat to death. Wait till you come out. Now, all of the situations, if you don't have fear, then you just not acknowledging danger.
Right.
At that point.
I learned that in the 50th law.
Nah, yeah, but you just not stupid. Then you're not scared of nothing. So you watch that guy that just has zero fear and say, yeah, we can get him. He tough. We're gonna have a hard time chewing on him, but we're gonna get him.
Mm-hmm.
We get him. Like other than that, you just gotta pay attention to your surroundings and things that's going on. Like, and you say never saying the toughest guy. I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I die in the process, I was doing what I wanted to do. Even the themes. Look, it's power to dollar.
Yep.
I get hit, I come back. Get rich or die trying.
Yeah.
Right? And the process, because that's already what I'm feeling like I'm going to do. I'm in the process. It's the greatest thing is to watch me, because either I'm going to get rich or I'm going to die in the process. And this is what I'm going to call a record. I think the only thing that separates people is passion. Right? And having the ability to focus on something, or to work on it, will allow you to work hard enough to be good enough at it. That's the Kobe Bryant run. He outworked those people. He a lot of people in the league perform according to their paycheck. So they're like, I ain't getting that money, let them do it.
Kobe was there every day.
Yeah, and that's what separates him and makes him special to us in a different way, even after he's gone.
Losing's not an option, then you got to do everything possible to win. And I don't understand how they become complacent and feel like, oh, it's okay. You get people that deal with things by not actually dealing with them. And it was a time that I actually didn't have anything, because the things that I acquired when I was hustling, it kind of went away. I had to get rid of it in order to have enough to stay afloat. Things don't happen when you want them to happen all the time. It happens when it's supposed to happen. When God has a plan for you to actually be successful, it'll happen for you. So you got to be persistent, consistent, work. I didn't have a plan B. I said it absolutely has to work. So I stayed focused and I made it happen. People are really loyal to their comfort. And when they are forced to actually sustain things that they have, they can get upset with whoever appears to have everything, no problem. Whoever's doing it easy in their mind, because I've been working to consistently keep it. Like, I've been on the Forbes list 5 years in a row while I haven't released the album in 5 years, and I haven't released the record. Like, while doing everything else, the part that they feel like isn't working, because when they're not actually making music and we're not really grinding on that level. See, I'm not in the street, but I'm close enough to the street to know exactly what's going on. Call me the fire hydrant. I won't be moved.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? I'll be a part of our culture for a long period of time, because you still won't be able to find someone that has a period of time. It's a 10-year block. There's nothing happening in hip-hop but that. That whole 10 years is
Yeah, and those eras aren't normally decades, man. They're normally a few years.
A couple months for a lot of them. Didn't have a major record company marketing to promote my project till 2003.
Right.
So for that time period, I had to run on my own energy. I had to convince myself that I'm gonna make it, regardless of how people felt at that time. And what it does is it makes you feel like, well, it made me feel like there's gonna be points that people are gonna mistake my confidence for arrogance, because they don't understand the process I went through. And how much I had to believe in myself in order to make these things happen. I feel like you can will yourself into a good space. Things that are meant to happen will.
If you believe in yourself enough, you can help yourself learn. You can inspire, yourself in different ways where you can actually discipline yourself, to the point that you can become good enough. Like from 97, like when I started writing, it was full time. Like every day I was writing music because I had no choice. If I was gonna stop hustling, then how was I gonna provide or continue the lifestyle that I created for my son's mom, my son, and myself?
You can't have any success without jealousy, without envy, or entitlement. Right? Entitlement being the scary part because it's growing in someone you love. It's hard for you to see those things, the change in them. These are loved ones. These are people that are around you that like relatives.
You can't choose
them. You can't choose them. The interesting thing is when we pray for success, we don't pray for jealousy, we don't pray for envy, we don't pray for entitlement. And we can't have those things without success. And this is what changes the relationships around you from the start. Because I wanted everybody to come with me because we went on the road. By the time we got for the tour, I said, I can do whatever I want as long as I keep working.
They look at you and say, damn, boy, you're young. Why your clothes look so old? I'm like, oh, man, why you gotta say that? Like, it's just, they would say stuff to me and then they look out for me, but in a different way. Like, they give me, here, you know what that is? Know what to do with it? It's all right. Anybody bother you, tell them I'll get it to you. And there's some guys that were big enough in the neighborhood for them not to whoop me for selling, so it kind of got me started early. I was like hustling since I was like 12.
Look at this. I didn't have cars or nothing like that at that point because this was the first run. I didn't have anything. Right. I had $800 a month for my responsibilities, the rent and stuff. So I went on that tour. Following that, by the time I came back, it was $38 million there, and no idea what I was going to do before then in tax time.
That's crazy.
So it was like, we went to work, like really work. I was like, what you going back for? You want to go home?
Right.
We didn't have at home.
Right.
You going back there for? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to go home? Like, that was a threat. If you told me that if they push me to a certain point, I'll mess up in front of everybody.
Yeah,
I'm tired of the capability to just go there because it's just the way I'm brought up. Like I never ran from anything because I never had nobody to go to. I've always had where I'm going. Home to get me. Ain't nobody there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I've always been in a situation where I'm forced to deal with it myself, so.
I associated everything good with my mom. And when she went away, all the nice things went away. So I would see, God, the nice cars, clothes, jewelry, different things, and they would appear to have everything from my perspective at that point. And it kind of led me into the same lifestyle that she was actually in. And I started hustling too, because they'd ask, like, what's the matter with your shoes? And not realize that there's no one there to buy those shoes anymore. They buy your shoes the first time, and then when they get tired of feeding you fish, because after we eat the fish, we hungry again. They give you a pole.
Ain't no school for this shit. You gotta be smart enough to pick up the information as you go. I was crazy enough to believe what the fuck I was saying gonna happen was gonna happen. And that's why I was persistent enough and consistent enough to exist now. My grandfather told me, you don't get as far as the you talk to for no reason. You'll be successful as the that you talk to for no reason. What I mean is, if you spending your day talking to a nigga and got nothing going on, what the fuck kind of information could he offer you? Can he help you learn something? Can he teach you something in the conversation?
As I grow older, the one thing that becomes clearer to me each and every day is that I don't owe anyone a thing, and neither do you. I've seen a lot of people pollute their potential after sipping from the well of entitlement. This is certainly true of many of the people I've been associated with over the years, even my own son. What they need to understand is that you should never feel like the world owes you anything. It doesn't. You must accept that it's all on you. That might seem like a very cynical way to view the world, but I would argue that it's actually liberating. You can only feel betrayal when you feel like you're owed something from someone. You can only feel resentment when you had expectations for assistance. When you accept that it's all on you, only then can you finally be free to focus 100% on being the best version of yourself.
much you feel like you're prepared for something. It never happens on your time, like when you think you're ready. It always happens when it's supposed to happen. Because the period that you feel ready and people are not acknowledging the material the way you feel like they should because it's good, is the time that you actually develop skin thick enough to survive when it does work. Look, there's gonna be people unhappy with the success that you have regardless. You know, without knowing who you are, an individual could look and just judge you and say, I don't like that. He had that diamond goat on his neck. Why'd he put that there? You gotta be a certain kind of person because he liked diamonds. And then they could just assume that anything they would like to register negative, they can just register it negative. Some people, they have the trait of, like, let's say the person's across the street, they look at you, they don't like you from across the street. Some people feel the need to go across the street to say, why I'm a good person. I don't give a f. I genuinely don't give a f about how those people feel about me across the street because they don't care about me. Is it okay for me not to care about people that don't care about me? I mean, like, the simple things, like if you look and you go, it would be entertaining for them to see me in crisis. So if you saw that and you go, why would you care about a person who would like you to see under the worst circumstances you could be under? I feel like you can will yourself into a good space. Things that are meant to happen will. And if you believe in yourself enough, you can help yourself learn. You can inspire yourself in different ways where you can actually discipline yourself, to the point that you can become good enough. Like from '97, like when I started writing, it was full time. Like every day I was writing music because I had no choice. If I was gonna stop hustling, then how was I gonna provide or continue the lifestyle that I created for my son's mom, my son, and myself? So I was ready in '97. And I didn't have a major record company marketing to promote my project till 2003. So for that time period, I had to run on my own energy. I had to convince myself that I'm gonna make it, regardless of how people felt at that time. And what it does is it makes you feel like, well, it made me feel like there's gonna be points that people are gonna mistake my confidence for arrogance because they don't understand the process I went through. Whether it's your actual blood relatives or people that you've developed relationships over time that created value. There's points where some of them develop a sense of entitlement and it can't be met. Like what they feel like they're entitled to, you can't really do that for them. They get blinded by what you've done and they're consistently saying, look what you have, versus acknowledging what you've already done or just what you've done for them personally. They'll look at it and still be like, but you have, they get into that thought process with, but you have so much based on your accomplishments. You just fall into new rooms with new people in them and accomplish so much that they'll minimize your accomplishments. You'll look and go, okay, I need to go to work. A lot of billionaires that are out there that aren't as notable. And then when you figure out how they did it, you go, like that, so.
Are they willing to share with you?
Yeah, you got a Musan, he's just like smooth, 2013. And I pull up at the light in a hoopty. I'm in a Dodge, 93 Dodge Caravan. I didn't wash it. And I'm telling you, roll the window down. And you look over, and you don't roll your window down. He won't roll his window down. Take the same scenario, you put that guy in that Bentley at the light, and the guy pulls up next to him, and a Ferrari and says, hey, roll the window down. He'll roll the window down because it was a choice. But he feels like you may have something to say of value to me just on presentation. Like I say this to younger actual, guys out there to kind of fit the description. Like if I was going somewhere and it wasn't, I have to be conscious of it. I can't do the 3-piece when I'm there as 50 Cent. Because then the audience will look at you like their parents instead of the actual artist that they appreciate. But if you actually want to make the window roll down, you have to fit the description. Make those relationships, to talk business, more Curtis than 50 Cent.
When you see you go up, they'd like to see you come down. It's the artist community that does this. It's your fellow artist that does this to you. Because they look and they go, if you go up and you stay up, then how am I gonna have my shot? This is why they go, oh no, that first album, the first album's fire. You don't notice everybody's first album is fire? Why do they say that? They say that to every artist. They'll go Illmatic, they'll go Reasonable Doubt, they'll go Get Rich or Die Trying, Biggie, Ready to Die. All these albums, the first album. They'll pick that one and say that one was a classic. No matter what they do afterwards, they won't compare that material to that album. I try not to let things that affect me that I can't change.
Right.
You know, you can't change publicly how people perceive you. At points you see the harshest things ever. You think the timing will just be, you just be in an emotional state where you can't really, you're not tough at the moment. Sensitive because you're not paying attention and you see some shit publicly that a person said about you that you go, whoa. And it really bothers you that the person just said that, no matter who you are. You know, and I just don't allow that to create a new vulnerability for me. I allow it to not matter. You know, you make investments in different things. Sometimes they win, sometimes they don't. More losses than wins, but when you do win, you win so big, it makes up for everything. You know, and that's been the journey, the experience. And then when I shift to do things in a different way, like people look now and say they're feeling momentum of me in television now, right? But I started this 10 years ago. I lost you don't see my losses. Like it happens, you know, periodically. I don't usually see people excited leaving the tables in Vegas if they didn't put chips on the table. The most ruthless people that you run into are going to be people that are just focused and not necessarily taking your life into consideration while they're taking theirs. It's like the district attorney's office that she wants the conviction so she can move up and her career can be good. She'll give you 100 years. And you look, you go, why so much? Like, why you had to do that? And it was like, what? You did it. In her mind, it's her doing her job and her moving up to the next level, and she'll just knock you over. You just become collateral damage. There's more ruthless people in the business world than in the street. You know, like they just have subtleties to their tactics. How they do things is more, you know, it's not confrontational. It's just, you know, but they're doing it right in front of you. You know, how they're structuring the actual deal, things that they're doing. It's like just taking the money for you. Look, robbery, at least it will give you the courtesy of showing you the gun so you can have those anxieties and feel those feelings that you would feel when you're being robbed. They'll do it on a piece of paper where you feel nothing. And just rob you right there. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's the same tactics with a different approach. And a lot of them, the people that do this comfortably, like handing the contract, the thing that they're not conditioned for is direct conflict. And that the circumstances I grew under absolutely have to be prepared for it. Like the fighters, they look good after they have 8 weeks of training and they focus their mind for 8 weeks straight. You got 8 seconds in the street. You got 8 seconds to adjust and do what you gotta do. But once you get, look, to entertain is to provoke emotions, right? So if the person doesn't love me, I'd like for them to hate me so I can mean enough to them, right? It would just mean that I meant enough for them to have feelings towards me. Because if you don't like me, then I don't matter. I wouldn't even exist to you if you don't hate me. At least let me get that energy out of you. It's okay as long as you care enough about it to have feelings. Because that's what it is to entertain.
I think the things you go through make you who you are. So I don't regret those things. I don't regret them because I don't think I'd be who I am today if I wasn't exposed to those situations. If you ask me, would I, those are unfortunate situations that I've had to experience. And if I had a choice, I would have definitely went in a different direction. But under those circumstances, when you're in an environment where you meet aggression with aggression, or you're deemed weak, and the weak becomes the prey, you gotta kind of back people off of you at different points. And when you're willing to go as far as further than the other guy, you always prevail. You always end up on top. It's like
The kid in the schoolyard that doesn't want to fight always leaves with a black eye, because as soon as the other kid identifies he doesn't want to fight, he hits him.